Okay, so we're back. Alright, last time we had a GTA San Andreas test run. And judging from the way that looked, I'd say that went rather well. Now, I'm on the OBS software, so please excuse me, that's going to change in a minute. OBS and this little picture thing here of me, hello, will disappear as well. But I'm looking at images of somewhere I'd like to go to, and in case you hadn't guessed, and I didn't move it in time, but oh well, is Japan. Now, I am quite enthusiastic about Japan in the sense that I love the way the place looks just from the pictures I've seen, whereas the Japanese themselves would probably say that there's nothing special about it and that, you know, it's where they live and so on. But judging from the looks of it, I'd say that there's a lot to it. There's a heck of a lot to it. So many people want to live there. So many people want to coexist and have peace and harmony and all the relevant things. But I personally, I mean, images like this one, I mean, I'm sorry, but what part of that doesn't look nice? Well, to you it might not look nice, viewer, but to me, I love it. Now, going more in depth, I suppose, is the fact that Japan is... I don't like the technology. Well, that's a lie. I do like technology. Otherwise, I wouldn't be on this platform of YouTube and everything else by now. But it's taken me a long time. But besides that, I've always wanted to travel to Japan and experience what the culture is like, what the language, how it sounds like, to hear it every day, to go to such a place where it's always busy yet always at harmony with itself. I'm not Japanese, and I'm sorry if you think I'm Japanese with the glasses, but I'm not. I'm just some guy sitting in a room, and that's my lot. And as much as, you know, hang on, I bought someone's clothing line. Sorry, I have to advertise something every now and then. Anyway, to me, Japan just seems like a world of mystery and wonder. For 1,000 years, or I think it was 1,000 years, correct me if I'm wrong, but I got told that it was 1,000 years they were in isolation for. 1,000 years, sorry, I was listening to a very typical Westerner opinion of how Japan sounds like, so let's just put on something a bit more... Ooh, I missed this one. Yes, I'm sorry if you get bored, but I'm having a look at all the different videos and stuff that I can get my hands on. While I would love to live out there, I know for a fact I would never be able to. More on that later. This is about Japan, this is not about me. Whereas, quite a lot of the time, and I'm going to do my best to keep this PG, so please excuse me if it doesn't look PG. My first introduction into the world of Japan was this manga, anime series, that kind of thing. Cardcaptor Sakura was its name, and I must admit, for being a Western bloke, I got pulled in by the drawings. The voices spoke quite fluently to me. I mean, I don't know if I'll find the right one, so you're just going to have to bear with me on this. Oh, dang it. I don't want to sound boring to yourselves, but equally I've got to make sure that it makes sense. I hope I'm not just rambling. Anyway, so Japan came up with or tapped into the idea of magical girls quite quickly, and then I started liking it, and I don't know what was possessing me, but I slowly got sunk into it. I mean, this is just an example. I don't know if this will hold on the recording. You can find it on YouTube anywhere. Episode 36, English sub. Now, I was watching this, and I was learning to read the subtitles and watch it at the same time, and that was difficult. I did learn to read on my own, but that's no excuse. The fact is, I nearly couldn't read it at the same speed, and it took me that practice there, and then I had to go back and do it again, and again until I got it right. And then from there, I started learning more about Japan and more about some of the things they have. I mean, one of the things that really took my breath away was a movie called Spirited Away. Now, I'm not going to ruin it, because I know that some people may not have seen Spirited Away yet. I mean, that image doesn't really tell you much. It's just a picture of someone sitting on some decking. I say decking, that's the way that I was taught. That's what its name is. But she's sitting on some wooden platform and watching a boat or a train or something like that go off into the distance. And I say she because, I mean, a little girl. That could be a little boy, but I'm sure it's a little girl. I've seen the film. But you can sort of see where I'm coming from. I've always loved Japan, and I've always loved things like that. And to be honest, it's just something which I would love to go out and have a look at. But as you can see, for my friends over in the States, I live in the UK. But for my friends in the States, you can see that's quite a high price. $5,000 odd, which about £4 grand, £4,000. I don't know. I don't actually know. I could look it up, but I'm not going to. But I mean that image there that you might be able to see, you might not be able to, but it's a picture of one of the castles in Japan. It might be. I don't think it's the Kyoto one, but it's one of the many ones they have around Japan. And apparently, I did not know this, but apparently they don't have nails or glue for their castles and all their buildings. It's just literally, I don't know how to explain it, like a joint. I don't know, like that, I guess. I don't know. So one thing led to the other with Japan, and slowly I started getting into the video games. And very, 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 very quickly, I got into a type of video game that a lot of people will remember. And you probably got spoiled it, but I got introduced to something which I didn't think initially was Japanese related. I thought Sonic the Hedgehog was American, or some form of amazing stuff that someone had come up with, but I didn't know who had come up with it. Same with Mario, same with a lot of things really. Star Fox, Bomberman, Link from The Legend of Zelda. I didn't know that these things had come from Japan. I honestly didn't. But when I heard that Sonic came from Japan initially, I thought, crumpets. Anyway, I'm dragging on from Japan, aren't I? So I would love to. Sorry, I keep bouncing backwards and forwards. I should really stick to something and carry on with that. But I'm trying to make it interesting for you, as interesting as it is for me. So something that I got into only just recently, and I don't know that tune, and I want to enjoy it one day, is Touhou project. I started getting into it because someone on Discord showed me it. I started getting into it because it tapped into a part of me that was almost hidden. I love the sound of magic with a K or magic with a C, however you want to pronounce it. So when things like, I wouldn't drag onto this, but because these are two different topics, but magic can drag onto Harry Potter, and it can also go onto Touhou Project. It can go anywhere, and I love it because no one can define energy, and that's the brilliant thing of it. If you believe it, it happens. If you don't believe it, it doesn't happen. I know, I must sound like a complete idiot, but I love it. So anyway, I think that's enough for now. But I will try and come back to you on this sort of topic. And yeah, oops, don't want to be showing my hairs off. No, that's just rude. Sorry. I'll come back next time with a bit on Thought Park maybe, or a bit of something else, I don't know. And I'll try and explain more about myself as time goes on, but I'm actually quite pleased because I've got a bit of software that actually works. It never used to. And if you couldn't hear me just then, it's because of the music. So let's just adjust that. Hopefully you can hear me, and hopefully you didn't struggle to hear me all that time. But there we go. Anyway, take it easy, and yeah, speak to you soon. Later.